We're here at B&K Smokehouse, and we're here with James Howell, the owner of B&K Smokehouse. And we're just so happy and pleased that you allowed us to come today and talk about the establishment.
Thank you.
I'm curious if you remember when we first met. I needed somebody to cater my son's graduation party from high school, and you brought the food out. You brought some food out to the house that we didn't know you were coming.
Because I forgot your green beans.
You remember that? You remember that? We didn't know. We didn't know. I looked up and I was in the yard and I said, "He's here. He brought the green beans." I didn't. That was that stayed with me. That stayed with me.
And that's that whole customer service piece.
Yeah.
If you miss something, you have to go back and correct it.
Right.
You know?
Right. I remember saying, "You don't have to worry about it. It's okay. You had plenty of food, but you just wanted to make it right."
Yeah, I wanted to make sure, you guys was happy.
Oh yeah.
Because one thing that I think that would kill a business quicker than anything is those mistakes. I think that this business has allowed me to build these relationships with people based on the food that we serve.
Yeah.
One thing I try to iterate to a lot of young people is your net worth is not the biggest thing you got. It's the network that you create. The people that you have these relationships with over the food, and then they're gonna always remember.
James, how did you get into this business? I know that you didn't start out doing this, so how did you transition into this, and what did you do before you started doing this?
Before I started doing this, I was working at a university. I ain't gonna say the name.
Okay.
I was ex-military, came home, so not feeling valued by my employer.
Okay.
I said, it's time for me to get out because I'm not going to go anywhere. And I said, hey, being in the military, we used to, do these big cookouts, the 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Somebody was always doing these big dinners or something. And the soldiers that didn't go home for the holiday, they would come over into the housing area. So it was natural to do this thing. I picked up a passion for cooking, actually smoking meat. I got down to Virginia and I hooked up with some guys, some country guys.
Yeah.
And they taught me about, smoking meat. And the first thing I ever smoked was a turkey. And I smoked it in a little Weber. And it took me all night.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, I was like, oh, I don't think I want to do this. You got to watch a piece of meat all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that turkey was so good, smoked. So I just, I started this thing, and 30 days later, I left my job.
Okay.
It didn't take long.
Yeah.
And it was me wanting to create my own value so that I could create value for others.
Yeah.
I had my grandchildren working here,
Yeah.
and I think it did them a lot of good.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
How'd you pick this location?
There was a lady, Miss Nisi, that was here, and there was a restaurant on the other side already there.
Okay.
And they were closing it out, and she said, well, if you want the building, we had discussion, and she said, if you want the building, I'll call the owner and let him know that you want it, and we'll get you in there. And I was like, you know what? Do it. Couple $1,000 and a hope.
Yeah.
Hope that it works out.
So everything was just kind of falling into place.
Yeah, it fell into place. And I always say that the universe, if you think about it, the universe of God will put people in place in your path so that you can get where you're supposed to be at.
Sure. Kind of knows where you're going
Yeah.
before you know.
Before you know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, are you from Columbus originally?
Yes, sir.
What side of town are you from?
South End.
South End. Okay. So, right here at Main and Champion, you're on the cusp of downtown. Competition-wise, other place, this Columbus, so we're not known as the rib capital of the world, but you are in competition with other places.
I think it's that everybody that comes through that door is given the utmost respect. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you got.
Mm.
I just want to let you know that you're welcome here. We're going to give you a good meal. When you get a meal at B&K Smokehouse, you know the average person can't finish the whole meal.
Right. Right.
It's 2 meals. The
Mm.
old ladies, they come in, they say, "Oh, James, you know, I eat on that for 2 days."
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think that our price point was where it needed to be at the times.
Mm.
You know, when we started, I think we were $12 for a rib dinner. And, you know, 13 years later, we're still only $18 for a half a slab, 6 bones, 2 sides,
Mm.
8 ounces, and some bread.
Okay.
People have a tendency to think that they're winning.
Uh,
When you leave out here, you know what? I got the better deal.
yeah. 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 Well, it's in the community. Right here, you're serving the community, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate this establishment. What's your relationship with the community in terms of its leadership and the people who come in? I know that there's a deeper root to this place than just good barbecue.
We have a really good relationship with Old Town East.
Mm.
I would tell everybody if it wasn't for this neighborhood supporting this business, I wouldn't have been here as long as I was.
Okay.
And when I say us, it took us a long time to realize that this was the place that you want to come to. Everybody else already knew it. The neighborhood knew it.
Mm.
There was a customer in Virginia that was in the Foreign Service, and every year he has a child or somebody over in Chicago. So him and his wife is going through, and they will stop here. And what's shocking is I can't tell you the guy's name, but I can always remember where he's from
Yeah.
and what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that gives him another sense that, hey, this guy really remembered who I was.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very diverse group of people that come in.
Yeah.
And you know, you talking about doctors, lawyers, you
Mhm.
know, politicians. All of them stop by occasionally.
Yeah. So sometimes word of mouth is better than a big media campaign to advertise.
Exactly. We did no advertising. It's all word of mouth and you know, people coming in and things like this, interviews being done or stories in print.
So people come in sometimes and say they come in and they want something to eat from the community, don't have quite enough money. How do you handle that? Because I have been here in those situations, seen a couple of people, and how you kind of handle that situation.
I don't like to do it often,
Mm. Mm.
but I will.
Mm.
And sometimes it's based on the fact that, hey, this person at one time was a customer. What I don't like is I don't like people coming in off of the street and asking my customers to do something for them.
Right.
Ask me.
Uh,
And then, you know, I tell you, just hold on, I'm going to get you something to eat.
yeah.
And then we can move past that. We do a lot of charity work. There's a boxing tournament that happens, the Columbus Legends that happens every year. The young man that does that, we grew up together. So when he started that, he was like, hey, you know, I need somebody to do food. So I do about 250 meals for his VIP tables.
Mm.
That way he can get him something to eat. People can taste my food.
Yeah.
I support the Rickenbacker Woods Foundation a couple times a year, send food over for the kids.
Mm.
There's a warming station and a cooling station right around the corner. We're going to start sending food over this winter to them, but we're going to do like soup.
Mm.
I do soup. I think soup is a little more nourishment. Another young lady, I just picked up her event. She does a cancer survivor event. We support the kids down at the Blackburn Recreation Center if they're having something.
What is your hope for B&K? How are you going to do that? Who's going to take it to the next level?
When you look at the kids, give them the ability to understand what financial responsibility looks like.
Mm.
And you know, in this world, I think that everything is task oriented. If I give you a task, I don't want to tell you how to do it unless you ask me how I want it done. I give it to you, let you get to the end. I'm gonna get you started, let you get to the end. So I want to see if you can complete a task. So that's the thing that I preach to them and that understanding. But if you don't have it
Mm.
and they look at your life, oh, well, you did all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody knows what that struggle looked like.
Sure, sure. James, I want to thank you for having us and giving us a little bit of your time. As you transition to another phase, I hope B&K keeps going and keeps serving the community. But I do want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming down, and we're gonna try to do our best to be here for many, many years, but it might not be me.
Okay, okay. As long as the building's here and the food is good, that's all we can ask for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.